The twin moons of Arvin. 9 hung low in the pale green sky as dust swept across a ruined trade post. Lights flickered weakly on broken poles, and vendors shouted in voices dry from sand and despair. Amid the chaos, a small alien boy no older than 7 cycles moved carefully between the stalls. His skin was a soft violet, his eyes wide and golden. His name was Tyron. Tyron's mother lay sick in a tattered shelter beneath an abandoned cargo bay. Her breaths were shallow, her pulse faint. The illness that had struck her was spreading fast, and the cure was known but expensive. No one on Arvin. 9 gave medicine to strangers, especially not to the few remaining Xyrelians. Tyron's people had once been proud, but a war had scattered them across the galaxy. Now they were seen as beggars and thieves. And so Tyron made a choice. He crept toward a stall guarded by a tall human man with broad shoulders and a worn face. The man wore old combat armor scratched and scorched. His name was Elias, and he had fought in 5 different wars. He had seen things that broke men. Now he sold spare parts and survival gear on forgotten worlds, hoping no one would ask him about the metals hidden in his pack. Elias saw the boy but said nothing. Tyron moved with speed, grabbing a small vial from the counter. It was barely bigger than a finger and filled with shimmering blue liquid. The cure. Elias reached out and caught the boy by the wrist. Tyron froze, his golden eyes wide with fear. The stall went silent. Other vendors glanced over, but quickly looked away. No one interfered when a human caught a thief. Elias stared at the boy. Why? Tyron's lips trembled, but he did not answer. Elias knelt down, his grip loosening. Who is it for? Still the boy said nothing. His eyes were locked on the vial. Elias studied the tiny thief. He looked at the rags. The boy wore the thin arms of dirt that clung to his skin. He sighed and stood letting go of the boy's wrist. Take it, Elias said quietly. Tyron stared at him, unsure. Go, Elias added. The boy bolted into the shadows, vial clutched tight against his chest. Hours passed. The wind howled. Elias sat alone, his thoughts heavy. He had not forgiven the Xyrelians. During the war, one of their bio-bombs had destroyed his homeworld. He had lost a sister and 2 cousins. He had sworn he would never help them. But something in that boy's eyes had cracked the wall around his heart. He stood and packed his things. He could not stop thinking about the child, about the fear, about the silence. He had seen that silence before. In refugee camps, in orphan soldiers, in the mirror. He left the stall and followed the path the boy had taken. Dust coated his boots as he moved past broken buildings and flickering signs. He passed scavengers and smugglers. He passed pain. Then he saw the child again. Tyron was crouched beside a broken crate inside a narrow alley. His mother lay beside him, her skin pale, her breathing ragged. Tyron held the vial to her lips with both hands, shaking slightly. Elias stepped forward slowly. The boy turned his head, eyes full of fear again. I will not hurt you, Elias said. Tyron hesitated, then turned back to his mother. She drank the last of the liquid, and her chest rose deeper than before. Her fingers twitched. Tyron wiped tears from his face. Elias knelt beside her, checking her pulse. It was faint but steady. The medicine was working. She will need rest, Elias said, and food, clean air, maybe more help. Tyron nodded slowly but said nothing. Elias looked at the boy. You speak galactic? Tyron whispered, yes. Elias nodded. What is her name? Lyra. Elias reached into his pack, pulling out a small heating blanket and a ration pack. He set them beside the child and stood. I will come back tomorrow. He said, to check her pulse. Tyron looked up with hope flickering in his eyes. He nodded. The next day Elias returned. And the day after. Each time he brought food or supplies or something to make the shelter less cold. He never asked for thanks. He never told others. He just helped. Lyra slowly improved. Her eyes opened. Her breath deepened. Her voice returned, though soft and fragile. She thanked Elias in the Xyrelian tongue, and he replied with a quiet nod. He still felt pain when he saw her eyes, the same color as the flames that had taken his family. But he also saw something else. He saw a mother. He saw strength. Days turned to weeks. Tyron followed Elias one morning, helping him set up the stall. Elias taught him how to wire circuits and clean tools. Tyron listened closely, learning fast. "You are smart," Elias said once. Tyron beamed with pride. One evening as the moons rose high, a group of mercenaries entered the trade post. Armed and loud, they pushed past vendors demanding tribute for protection. They reached Elias's stall laughing and sneering. "This your stand, old man?" one asked. Elias stood firm. "It is. You pay or you burn," another said. Elias did not move. His hand rested near his belt where a knife lay hidden. Then a small voice rang out. "Leave him alone." The mercenaries turned. Tyron stood there small and shaking. One mercenary laughed. "Is this your pet?" Elias stepped forward. "He is my apprentice." The laughter stopped. The leader of the group narrowed his eyes. "You vouch for Zyrelian?" "I do," Elias said. The mercenary snarled. "Wrong answer." The moment turned sharp. Then Lyra stepped from the shadows, holding a makeshift plasma cutter. Her body was still weak, but her eyes burned bright. "You will not harm my son," she said. The mercenaries hesitated. A crowd was forming. Elias moved like wind, drawing his knife in one smooth motion. The leader stepped back. "This is not your world." Elias said, "But it is mine now." "Leave." Silence held the air. Then the mercenaries backed away, muttering threats. But they left. Tyron ran to his mother, holding her tight. Elias stood beside them, shoulders tense. That night, Lyra and Elias spoke long into the dark. "I know what your people did," Elias said. "I know what we all lost," Lyra replied. "I hated you," he admitted. "I would have hated me too," she said. "But your son saved you, and you saved him." Elias looked at the stars above. "Maybe we can stop the cycle." Lyra nodded. From that day, Elias built more than machines. He built shelter. He built peace. Tyron became more than an apprentice. He became family. And the trade post became a place of quiet healing. The war was not forgotten, but forgiveness had begun. And all because one alien child had the courage to steal, to save his mother, and to change a human's heart.